All right, Kyle Mohan Racing. It's our off season. We're working on the race car, and it's Tuesday night, so it's time for a KMR Tuesday night tech talk. And tonight, based on a question that got asked by one of the followers, we're going to talk about what ECU, or what computer, I am running in my Formula Drift 1,000 horsepower 3-rotor RX8. So, hey, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Right here on the side of the car, you can see what we've got going on. It is a Haltech engine management system. From Mazda tricks to our customers to the engines I build, I'd say for over 10, maybe even 15 years, I have been relying on Haltech. Now, obviously, as a engine builder and a race shop, a part shop like Mazda tricks, we've sold many different things through the years. But one of the things we really came to realize, the most important thing you can have in your car to control your investment is your ECU. I would often joke with people who would come to the front counter and they'd be building a $10,000, $15,000 motor with all of these expensive accessories on it, and I'd ask them what type of ECU they intended to tune the car with, and they'd have some 10-year-old off of Craigslist archaic ECU that probably wasn't even manufactured anymore. And I would joke, I'd say, hey, pull out your cell phone, and they'd plop down some $1,000, $1,500 cell phone that was, usually less than 6 months old. We all like to stay fresh on our cell phones, and I go, well, why in the world would you try to tune your beautiful race car with an outdated cell phone? And that's the way I would think about it is, I can't get by without a good cell phone. How in the world is my race car going to get by without a great computer? So what we're running on our Formula Drift RX8 is one of the Haltech Elite computers. It's been a fantastic setup. It gives us plenty of input and output channels. I feel that it is a cost-effective setup, and if you are a rotary enthusiast, Haltech has a lot of built-in rotary features. Obviously, they'll power any type of engine. If you want to run LSs, if you want to run 2Js, Forrest Wang was another person who relied on Haltech with his massively amazing 2J S15, S14 race cars. But in the rotary world, Haltech has really been one of the predominant names. I'd like to give some comparisons. Obviously, AEM is a good computer. Motec is a good computer. You can run a rotary on a Motec. That's what Ron Bergenholtz ran in the other Mazda RX-8 that Mazda Tricks was involved with. But through the years, we've come to realize that it didn't have so much to do with the dollars spent. It had to do with the computer's capability and also the people that were helping give feedback and helping with any type of situation we would have. And I would also say that Haltech through the years has had great customer support here in the US, even though they're an Australian-based company. Some of the things we like to do with our Haltech ECU is we're controlling our nitrous system. We're controlling our wastegates. Obviously, we're controlling our injectors and our ignition timing. But with the available inputs and outputs and the ability to monitor what's going on, we can create a safe setup. And I think that's really what most drivers, automotive enthusiasts want, is they want to be able to build an aggressive setup, something that's going to make the horsepower that they want, but they also want reliability. Well, that reliability comes into play with the ECU being tuned. You can add in safety channels, knock protection. You can add a channel that will monitor your air-fuel ratio. If you start to lean out or fuel pressure drops, just like a factory car, an OEM stock car, it will start to protect the engine. Now, if you're out there racing, I think most of the time, we're going full out. We're not really relying on those safety features. We're relying on the tune. We're relying on the engine to perform properly. But when it comes to that dyno time, when it comes to testing, there's really no reason to add that risk in. And a lot of the times we will use those available safety channels to help control, monitor, and protect our engine. The Haltech ECU also has a really good software behind it, great resolution, great tunability, and with that, you get the ability to really just dial in the components. You have two variations of rev limit. I think I mentioned this in one of my previous videos. I don't really recommend a hard cut on a rotary. We recommend more of the soft cut. You're definitely less likely to cause any damage. And things that I like to put in there is you obviously need to have a boost cut if you're over boosting. If your fuel pressure is dropping, you need to have some type of engine cut. And like I've mentioned, the Haltech Elite line of ECUs have really given us all of that. Within Formula Drift, I think it's been interesting. There's, depending on what class you're running, they've got one class that has spec ECUs. Obviously, my class, we can run any ECU we desire. And I think that's one of the interesting things that I always like to throw in is I've had 15 years to play with the cars, the engines, the setups, and for me, I can make the choice to use what I believe in, and, well, I believe in Haltech. So, again, I always recommend that people with their setups listen to their tuner, and every tuner, every car builder creates their recipes for success, and for me, building a strong rotary engine with proper components and running a Haltech ECU, running ethanol fuel, running a quality oil that's very stable like renewable lubricants has provided the reliability in our setup and safety that we want. And so one of the things I always like to talk about with what we're talking about here is, well, this particular block is actually 3 seasons old. Yes, we've rebuilt it every year, but this is a 3-year-old, 3-season 1,000 horsepower motor. We're able to create the reliability we want, so we're not spending all of our time like a lot of Formula Drift teams just changing motors. And I think that's really interesting because you get into the whole rotary reliability issue, and I think the general thought process is that rotaries are the ones that have more issues than piston motors. But in Formula Drift, I would say the piston teams are changing a lot more motors than the rotary teams currently. So just a little tech talk. Haltech Elite, run EGTs. Don't do anything crazy. Listen to your tuner, and you're going to have rotary success. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. This was pretty short and sweet. Definitely feel free to ask questions about the setup, what we're doing. I can go over a little bit of our engine setup right now. We're actually running 2600cc injectors. We've got 6 of them. We're running a direct port nitrous system right in the top, and that is Haltech controlled. We've got a DC power alternator with 4 electric fans, electric water pump, electric power steering, full data acquisition, nitrous. We've needed to bump up our amperage, so we're actually running one of the, I think it's 360 amp alternators from DC Power. Precision turbos, fully reliable. We don't have anything going on there. But definitely cool, and just a little bit of the information that people always ask, hey, what are you running on your car? Well, there you have it. Right off the shelf, nothing too crazy, reasonably priced, Haltech computer. Don't buy used or old ECUs. Get a new ECU. Just like you would want with your cell phone. Get yourself a new cell phone. Make sure your car's happy. It can talk freely around the world. I'm joking. Make sure you're able to tune your car. All right, happy rotaries create happy lives. Feel free to ask questions, and KMR, follow KMR. There you go, Kyle Mohan Racing, Tech Talk.